Welcome, Aunkh, and welcome everyone back from our first break.
Welcome, Aunkh. Great to see you.
It's really good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Yeah. And I'm going to say a few words of introduction before you begin.
All right.
I want everyone to know how honored and privileged we are to have Dr. Aunkh Chabalala with us from South Africa, from the Bantu people. And Aunkh has a unique set of knowledge, a unique combination of knowledge to bring to us today, both spiritual in his own African tradition. He has spent years studying at the feet of elders and shaman in his own tradition, in his own country. But he's also an epidemiologist. And we're in the midst of this virus. Epidemiology is something that we're finding. I think everyone is learning what it means. But Aunkh has a depth of wisdom from his cosmology and his people to bring to share with us today. And I'm very, very grateful that you made the time and that you're able to be with us, Aunkh.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Go ahead. Yeah, please.
Please go ahead.
All right. First of all, I'd like to greet everyone who's on this call at this serious time. That I guess most of us who are living at this time, we've never seen what is happening around the world. And as you both said, Elizabeth and Thomas said that in truth, it's really about physical distancing, but that which we are, our essential nature is inherently interconnected. And we need to go back to that because we have been separated in so many ways. Our spirits and souls have been ripped apart in such a way that we don't understand or appreciate the importance of this interconnectedness. I would also like to give thanks to existence itself, which manifests as life, the fullness of life, whether it's us as human beings, whether it's the waters, whether it's the fire, whether it's the air that we bring, but also these little infinitesimal entities like bacteria, viruses, and fungi that are actually forcing us to be connected. It had to take these little beasts, if we may call them, for us to return to our humanity, which down here in South Africa we call it Ubuntu. So I give thanks to that, or we need to really give thanks to that, to the fullness of life that we can learn from any and everything. Also, we entering this time when in the South we are actually mourning. In this country, we are mourning the passing of maybe one of the last Sanusis, one of the last wisdom keepers. His name is Baba Credo Mutwa, Vusamazulu Mutwa, who transitioned on the 25th of this month, little 4 days after the equinox, which we call the Hebnen. So Hebnen is very, very important for us because it's the time that we slow down, is the time that we go within and really ask ourselves and see if we can declare ourselves innocent of all the violations that we as human beings have actually visited upon existence, the environment, plants, animals, reptiles, the waters. And there are those who are saying that we are in this space because we violated existence, we violated animals. And hence these microorganisms are finding ways of then teaching us what we need to learn. So Baba Mutwa taught us this. And I just received a message from one of the brothers who's in the foundation, Baba Mutwa's foundation, that as from midday today, we should light a candle until the day that he will be sent away, his body will be sent away on the 4th of April. So I would like to request every one of you to do the same, because these wisdom keepers are leaving us all over the world. Mm. Another of the wisdom keepers that also passed on same week, his name is Dr. Leila Africa. He was a natural medicines doctor and teacher out of the United States, but he based his teachings out of the ancient healing systems of Africa. He also transitioned, and I believe that so many people are transitioning around this time, not because of the coronavirus, because of so many other reasons. And my heart goes to all those families. Now, what I wanted to share with us is just a small gift from my people, but then maybe a 10-15 minutes meditation whereby we can all contribute towards envisioning a different world, new world. Inspired by these great teachers, I see what is happening as the great impetus, whereby existence is saying if we refuse to observe the beauty of interconnectedness and interrelatedness and interdependence, the teachings of death and decay will force us to actually return to the principle of Ubuntu, or in ancient Kemet we even called it Ma'at. And this principle simply says that existence needs us, especially as human beings, to come into being, for it to really teach us its highest principles. And it's when we allow ourselves to be that we can protect ourselves and we can protect existence, we can protect the world. This principle of Ubuntu says that you are a sovereign being, I'm a sovereign being. However, I am because you are, and you are because I am. Therefore, whatever I do for myself, I do for another. And whatever I do for another, I do for myself. And these are the things that we have forgotten. And these things are actually being revealed very well in terms of how our leaders are responding to this carnage that we are experiencing at the moment. It is not the time for us to cling to our individual nationalistic tendencies and the racism that we're seeing around, especially those that are suffering. This is the time for us to recognize the humanity in each one of us, but also the importance of us to realize that Ntu, which is consciousness, it's everywhere, it's in everything. So the call really is the call for us to go deep down into the depth of our spirits and the heights of our souls. And to quote what I learned from Baba Mutwa, I said that we are here as the primary functionary through which the Supreme Being experiences itself And we are bestowed by something very, very unique, which is called the mind. We have got a word for it in my language. And it is this thing called mind, which doesn't necessarily live within us, but it's within and without, that if we tap into it, we'll be able to change and shift any and everything that we do not require in our lives. It also then shows us that we are responsible for whatever is happening. Whilst we are responsible, it calls for collective responsibility so that no one can point a finger to another. And we need not look at someone else to assist us, but each one of us have a role to play. And if we play the little role that we are assigned by existence, then we'll change things. It is an irony that the condition that we're facing, it's called a respiratory infectious disease, meaning that it's taking away our inherent right to breathe, to access life through breath. And I believe that it's in returning to the breath consciously that we'll be able to be in a state of peace and serenity and tranquility. And it's through that state that we'll be able to influence those that think that they are responsible for making things to happen, for them to see things differently, and for them to act differently. Our leaders, who seem to be little children around this time, and those who have the means are not even willing to assist, but they see this as an opportunity to rob and plunder at the expense of the sufferers. In a country like mine, where poverty is engineered, even some of these means that we're putting in place won't help, because my house is just a tin shack, a few meters of a tin shack. If I'm staying with my wife and children, there is no way in which the so-called social distancing will work. But I'm happy because it's showing us the human solidarity, whereby those who have are starting to see the importance of sharing, which is everything that has to do with my art. So I would like to invite us into a meditation. And as Thomas and Elizabeth advised us, that we need to sit upright and really relax. And I'll invite us to just close our eyes and maybe focus on two areas in our body, just the tip of our nostrils and our belly. So I'll invite us to really breathe in deeply and really breathe out with ease. And at this point, I'll also just switch off my video and take you through the journey of recreating a new world, which is inheritable to our children and our grandchildren and their grandchildren. So I invite you to really settle in your breath. And scanning your body and just finding out wherever there is tension, just relax that part of the body. And as you breathe in, expand your belly. And as you exhale, collapse it and just squeeze it a little bit just to expel excess carbon dioxide. In this meditation, I would like to invite you to one of the teachings of our people, that we are everything. If we are everything, I would like you to see yourself as this virus, but also see yourself as everyone that is suffering today because of this virus, those who are in hospitals, those who are in the villages and the shanty towns and the big cities. And just for 3 seconds, experience their loneliness and their fear, their helplessness and their hopelessness. Just for a little while. The children, the elders. We are all these people. And this will then should give us the impetus, the great impetus, to envision a different world. From the teachings of Ubuntu, we are taught that the solution lies within, that we can heal ourselves and heal others and heal our planet. So I invite you in any way within yourself to wake up and stand up and step up and speak up where all these things are required. Whether it's in terms of our collective responsibility when it comes to what we have done to the environment, our collective responsibility when it comes to the economics of this world, which is collapsing and inviting us to see things differently. The social structures that we have created, and some of the spiritual practices and political practices that do not serve in this time. I invite you to find just one little way, one small way in which you can contribute differently in honor of Ubuntu. One little way in which you can offer a hand in so many ways. Whether it's a prayer, whether it's sacrifice, whether it's a thought, whether it's a gift. And just trust that gift that you have, that prayer, that meditation, that little action of helping the elderly and the poor and the marginalized will shift things on this planet. But as you go into silence, I also invite you to envision a new earth, a new world, a beautiful planet where humanity is one, where we mix and mingle, where we see the beauty in every living entity. Where we see the jungles of this world restored to give us fresh air, well-charged air, clean waters, peaceful elders, happier children, where peace and serenity and tranquility reign, where everyone is abundant, where everyone prospers, where everyone is opulent. I invite you to see beauty in your meditation, in your silence.